Hello everyone, hope you are doing good. And this is assignment 4 and I'm Ashwin. So first let's check the table of contents which we have. So first I've included the introduction where we are giving basic introduction to the topic which you have selected. Then we'll explore the data set which we have. Then we'll have an overview of what we are doing, how we are doing, and the answers which we're trying to seek out from our analysis. Then we have did the analysis in two parts, one through Jupyter Notebook and through Tableau. We have included both, and then the dashboard which we have created, and then we'll end our presentation with the conclusion which we got after our analysis. The topic which we have selected is we are analyzing the domestic and foreign investments in India for the financial year 2020 and 2021. So investments in India reached 81.7 billion in financial year 2020 and 2021 as per the country's official sources. Meanwhile, the World Investment Report 2021, which was released on June 21 by UNCTAD, states that India is the fifth largest investment recipient in the world in 2020, which is not pretty much bad considering the current pandemic situation. The key factors which were responsible for the investors to invest in India were the good market size, the high-tech industrial development, and the advancement in the digital and technological ecosystem. And other factors were the new PLI schemes which were introduced by the current government also helped and motivated the investors to invest in India. And there are other factors like ease of doing business, the digital economy of India, the startup hub, and the FDI policy reforms across sectors also motivated the investors to invest in India. Set which we have extracted this dataset from india.gov.in. We have further worked on this dataset by cleaning and adding data as per our convenience. So this dataset contains 463 rows and 14 columns, and the dataset also mentions date and year of investments. The dataset contains all the investments done in India by different countries for the year 2020 and 2021, and the dataset also include the information of sectors in which the investments were made and the countries which did that investment. And we have also added the descriptions and links of the news or information. Have an overview of what we will be doing. We will be using Python, Jupyter Notebook, and Tableau, and we will be demonstrating the comprehension of data analysis and visualization. We will be analyzing all the investments which were made in India in the different sectors by different countries for the financial year 2020 and 2021. We will analyze the dataset which we have and try to find out the possible scenarios which like the which country invested most in India, which foreign country invested the most in India, which sector had the highest investment and which sector had the least investment, and which Indian state got the highest investment and the largest investment, and the number of companies from each countries which invested in India. Now we'll have a look on the Jupyter Notebook analysis which we did. First we have loaded all the libraries, then we have loaded the dataset which we have. Then we have used the head function here to see the top 5 rows of our dataset. Here we can see we have seen the top 5 rows and the 14 columns which we have. Here we can see the columns are the company country, and the Indian investment location, the year, month, category, and the investments. uh, some of the columns which we have. Then we are checking the data types here to check like how many null objects are there, other parts that what's the data type. Now we are checking the data size here by using the investment data dot shape. We are finding like it came as the output as for 63 rows and 14 columns, and we are finding out is there any null values in our data set. So we are but there are some null values in our data set in some of the columns of state investment and partnership. So now it's pretty much confusing with these numbers, like we don't know like the number of counts and other things, so we just find out whether with the percentage, like what percentage of this columns are having the null values, and then so that we can proceed further. So yeah, I've used this sound function and this percentage formula to find out the percentage of null values in the data set, and it comes out there are pretty much two rows which are having the maximum null values, one of state investment of with 96% of null values, and the partnership column with 98.49 percentage of null values. So for our ease of use analysis, so we will just drop these null sets. So we are dropping these null values using the this function. Then we'll just check out the normal statistics data for our just basic key information. Then we are going to download the clean dataset which we have for our further analysis which we did. From this pie chart, it's pretty much clear that Indian origin companies invested the most. 228 Indian origin companies invested in the country for the financial year 2020 and 2021. Now, talking about the foreign investment, 62 US based companies invested in India, which is by far the largest by any country, and which is followed by Japan with a count of 22, and China 16, and Germany 14. So the interesting part which we can conclude here is, considering the current scenario with China, with our neighbor China, still Chinese 16 Chinese countries invested in India. Now let's check the investment amount and the number of companies with respect to states. So after analysis, we found out that the state of Karnataka got 49 investors, and the state of Uttar Pradesh followed them with 33 investors, and the state of Gujarat got 31 investors. And the interesting fact about after our analysis, it came out that the state of Maharashtra has just had 15 investors, but the amount which they got invested is by far larger than any all other states. And even the same situation is with the state of Orissa. Even they just got 11 investors, but the amount which they got invested is pretty much more, is pretty much 40 times the state of Karnataka, which is having 49 investors. And there are 8 states which didn't got any investment for the both the years for the like neither the foreign investors and the national Indian investors, like the state of Uttar Pradesh, the state of Chhattisgarh, the state of Bihar and Jharkhand, Meghalaya, Mizoram and Nagaland. Now here we are analyzing the investment done by different countries. We have arranged them in ascending order with respect to the investment made. The least amount was invested by Portugal and Denmark, and the largest investment was done by India, which was followed by United States and Saudi Arabia. We will check the investment done into different categories. The industrial sector got the largest investment of 157 billion, which was followed by state investment and the technological and in electronic sector. The least invested sector was military and space research sector. Let's check the dashboard which we have created through Tableau, and I've tried to keep the dashboard through Tableau. I've tried to keep this dashboard as minimal as possible. I've added two filters, year 2020 and year 2021, and if now I've selected both the filters, now you can check the invested amount by India is on like 146, and if I'm changing it that to 2021, I can find out the investment done in the year 2021, and if I'm changing it to 2020, I can find out the number of the investment done by India in the year 2020. I've added a link to the data set. By anyone can just click on the image and just click on the India's map and go to the data set. And if I'm going, like I've included different charts here, like the 4 charts here, and the description and the link of the news regarding the investment which was made. And I've also added different filters as per our convenience. So if I'm taking, just for an example, if I'm taking the state of Kerala, 4 investments were made in the state of Kerala, and the 4 investments were done by these two countries, UAE and India. And the investment category in which they sector in which they invested were industry sector, the infrastructure sector, and the general goods sector. And the information regarding or any information or news regarding that investments, we can also use the country filter. Like if I want to find out any specific investment done by any specific country, we can even also find out that. Like if I want to find out the investment done by Canada, I will just click on Canada. I will just find out like only Canada's only invested in one state, and it's the state of West Bengal, and I can find out the investment amount and the sector in which Canada invested. It's infrastructure sector and technology and electronic sector. And if I want to find out more information about the investment, I can just I have three. Now, after our analysis, we came into a conclusion. After analyzing the data set using Tableau, we got a clear overview of national and international investments in India. Maximum investments came from Indian companies, followed by US companies, and Karnataka got the highest number of investors, which is 49, followed by the state of Uttar Pradesh with 33 investors, and 8 Indian states didn't got any foreign or national investments for the year 2020 and 2021. Even though the state of Maharashtra had 15 investors, but still they got the highest investments. Industry sector caught the eye of the investors and got maximum investment, and the military and space research sector got least investment from the investors. India remains a prominent international investment destination due to its inherent advantage, a huge market with a relative younger population, democratic setup, investor-friendly reforms, and increased pace of urbanization also helped in India getting more investors. And that's all from our analysis. Thanks.